What is up, everyone? Shotgun Crypto here, back with another video. In this video, we are going to be talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and of course, a little blurb just about storage at the end, just to give an update about our last video. So, without further ado, the million-dollar question here, of course, is Bitcoin finally done with the dumping? Can we go back to normalcy? Can we go make a recovery and really try to hit that last all-time high and just pump into the moon? But to answer that question, of course, to give you my honest answer, first of all, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos just like this. And so with that being said, with that out of the way, let's just dive right in. So to answer the question, of course, honestly, I think it's more likely than not that we're done with the dumping. I think we've hit a bottom here. Of course, my word is not God. It's not scripture, right? It's not financial advice. Don't take it as financial advice. Take it with a grain of salt, and of course, always do your own research. But with that being said, I do think that from what I can see from the charts, and of course, I have the Bitcoin 4-hour chart pulled up right now. So here's where we are right now. I do want to draw attention to where we were last time. As you can see, there's a lot of resemblances that can be made, and from where we were last time, I think that we're actually in a better position for recovery than where we were last time. And so why do I say that? So if we were to go back just to walk down memory lane, we were at our all-time high, and we made this what is clearly a bear trend, right? We dumped all the way down. We tried to do this. We tried to go back up again, but of course we formed a symmetrical triangle, so that was a continuation pattern. We continued downwards by that technical price target, more or less, before we bottomed out here. And then we thought we bottomed out here. We went back up, did the symmetrical triangle again, so we tried to pull that a second time. And this time we also dumped down, as expected. But somehow, unexpectedly, we were able to find a level of support here. And so from here, because if you look at the technical price target, it should be lower than this, but we ended here. And of course, from here, the rest is all history, right? And then we just went all the way back up. We did this huge pump, and from here we tried to really break this level of resistance over and over again. Before that, we just failed, and from there, the pumpage was over, right? And the dumpage began, and so from there we had this huge dump. And as you can see, it's more or less the levels are almost aligned, right? So we went all the way down. We were able to reaffirm this level of support. As you can see, we reaffirmed it a second time and now a third time, and from here we've been bouncing up again. So as you can see, we were able to go up here, go down here, go back up to test this Fibonacci level, and like last time, we bounced back down again. But unlike last time, we did not form this continuation pattern, which would have been clearly a bearish sign to plunge down even further. But this time, rather, we are seeing what seems to be a double bottom, right? So as you can see, we go down, go back up, and go back down, and so these are in perfect alignment, these two levels. So if we were to go test the second time, I think the odds are better now than where we were last time, and last time we defied the odds and went back up again. So this time, the level that we should definitely be looking at right now is just this Fibonacci level, or very close to it, right? Very close to it, around this range. And so if we were to head back up, which seems likely, we've been regaining momentum right now, and so if we head back up here, we really want to see if we can break this and test this level of support and reaffirm it, and then from there, of course, it would just blast us all the way up again, right? Because as you can see, the technical price target, I'm just eyeballing it here, so it would be somewhere around this range, right? And so basically right back to where we were before. And so with all the sideways action, so we would be right back into that midst again. And what's more is if we do bounce all the way up here, we could be seeing the activation of this larger double bottom trend, which would propel us all the way. Let's see, so let's just zoom out a bit, and so pull this up. Hold on, give me 1 second. Alright, and so here we are right now. So if we were to draw that out, so let's see, and we bottomed out here, so about, okay, so about $12,000. So if we go $12,000 upward from here, yeah, that would be past $70,000. So that would be setting the new all-time high. That would be propelling us all the way up to our to that long sought for $70,000 range. And so really I think that, I mean, it's obviously there's so much volatility going on. You can never be sure, right? But at least as far as I can see right now, I think that's the more likely scenario, or at least at the very, if we're not speaking too much ahead, if we're not getting too much ahead of ourselves and looking at the $70,000 when we're still all the way down here. I mean, I still think that in the near term, it's more likely than not that, of course, we want to watch this level, but if we break this level, then we would be looking at least in the near term, just a continuation of this sideways pattern. And from there, I think it's more likely than not that third time's a charm, third time's the charm rather, and then we would be able to go all the way back up to $70,000. Of course, back up to all-time high, and then break it and go to the 70,000 range. And so definitely, what's more about the Bitcoin chart is, as you all know, it's basically, Bitcoin is basically the flagship of the crypto market. Of course, yesterday we saw these huge moonshots from ADA and from Matic as well. But for the most part, when Bitcoin dumped down, the entire market just went into hell. It was just a dumpster fire. So definitely, if we're looking at when we're looking at Ethereum, Cardano, and other coins, like right after we're finishing up with Bitcoin, I do want you to keep in mind that when we're looking at Ethereum, Cardano, storage, and all these other coins, it really hinges on whether or not Bitcoin is able to hold this level and continue to gain momentum, which, in my opinion, we are. But of course, if Bitcoin fails, then it doesn't really matter. At least it doesn't really matter all that much about the charts with all these other coins, because they would most likely be dragged down by Bitcoin. But anyways, moving on, if we're looking at Ethereum right now, so we're kind of in that happy space right now. We're just going sideways. But what I do see is, and this could be a bigger trend, right? So at least for the time being, I think it's in the next day or two, we're most likely just going to keep on going sideways. But we do see a formation of a symmetrical triangle, which, as we just mentioned with Bitcoin, that's a continuation pattern. So if we break up, so at the end of the day, when we break out of this pattern, it's more likely than not. Of course, it's statistically speaking, it could go either way, but it's more likely, somewhat more likely, that we're able to break upwards instead to continue with this pattern. And from there, if we do confirm this, then we could be looking at, and of course it depends on where we break out, right? But let's see. So if we were to measure from the top to the bottom rather, so about 900, a little bit more than 900. So let's say if we were to break out upwards from here, then potentially, let's see, around this range, right? So we would really be hitting the $5,000 range here, and probably overshoot the Fibonacci level, hit 5,000, maybe go down a little bit and use this as support. But really, we would be looking at, more likely than not, in the next few days or the next week or so, I would say sooner rather than later, we are going to be looking at a $5,000 pump for Ethereum all the way up. And so of course, this is barring, let's say, what we just said about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin just goes down to the abyss, then that's how we got this huge dumpage in the first place. And so really, we want to be on the lookout for Bitcoin. But so far, looking at the charts for Ethereum, I would say that it's pretty bullish right now, that when we do break out of this, we're more likely to hit that $5,000 range than to break downwards. And so anyways, moving on, let's keep the train going. And so looking at ADA just did, and it was just amazing. I remember I was just shaking yesterday, just looking at this huge pump. And as you can see, it's kind of predicted. So I remember it was afternoon around this time where I'm living right now. So I was seeing this, and I was like, okay, so we know that ADA is going to pump all the way up, because as you can see, there's a bull pattern. And of course, later on, it was confirmed with this cup and handle right there. So we went down, we went back up, went back down again to test this level, and then from there we just bounced all the way up. And so here, and of course we hit this huge all-time high before we went down again. And so for the time being, all I can say is first of all, this I still can't believe that it pumped this much. But anyways, so what I can say right now is that I do think that ADA is just going to continue shooting up. Maybe not right now, of course, because it's already made this huge moonshot, basically, that I think for the next maybe a day or two or 3 or 4, just in the near term at least, we could be seeing some sideways action. We could be seeing some downward action to go back and test the day and maybe go down to the daily EMA. Hold on. So around this level. Of course, it would also be catching up as well. So I think that more likely than not that we would just be it would just be out of commission for now at least. But definitely I think in the longer term, so a few weeks from now, we could be looking at a far higher price, and we could be looking at that coveted, no pun intended, with the COVID epidemic. Anyways, so that coveted $3 Cardano spot, we could really be looking at that maybe by the end of this month. So I would keep my eyes peeled and buy into any dumps. I mean, buy into any dips, not dumps. Buy into any dips and dollar price average into it, because I think that ADA is definitely going to pump in the long run. And so anyways, just to wrap this up a bit, so going back to storage, just as a little bit of an update. So like we said, first of all, we wanted to test this level. We wanted to test the Fibonacci level. And if we break past this, then we would be seeing, well, actually, so this is where we were last time. And so let's just zoom into the 4-hour chart, right? And so this is where we were last time. Around last time, I think we were around here, right? And so we were rejected, or yeah, more or less around this level. So we were rejected, and so we went back down. We were able to find support here, and so as you can see, this is some very heavy duty support. I'm sorry, here, right? So you see it being confirmed once, twice, thrice, 4 times, and a 5th time now. And so from here, so as you can see, it's kind of we're recovering. We're gaining momentum. We're bouncing off here, and so we're probably heading back up here to retest this. And if we do break out, of course, we see this double bottom pattern that's going to propel us all the way up here. And so if we can break past this, if we have a breakout, and if we break upwards, then yeah, we would be looking at this huge moonshot. And so storage could be the next Cardano. It could be the next Matic from what we saw yesterday, right? It could be this huge moonshot. But of course, even if we go back up here, and if we were to fail a second time, more likely than not, I mean, this level of support has already been holding for 5 times already. The most likely scenario would just be that we go back down and refirm this, and from there we could go back up again, and so that would be just 3 times. And so really, at that point, I mean, every single time you do this level of resistance just gets weaker, and from there, we could really just break out, and it would just be the same story, right? So I think it's more likely than not that storage would be able to at least break up to here. And if we do break out from here, then definitely a moonshot would be a possibility, right? But if not, I mean, I would be a little concerned if we break down from this level of resistance, not resistance, from this level of support, right? And so, but I would be obviously very, very concerned if we break below this level, because this has just been holding up. It's just the glue here that's been holding everything together. If we break below this level, then yeah, we would just be back down here, back into the abyss. But anyways, that is all. That's all I have to say for this video. So until next time, if you enjoy these videos, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts, whether you liked this video, whether you found it insightful, or whether you thought that it was a waste of your time, that you could have been watching, I don't know, Tyler S, and you could have been more entertained and better educated, or if you just want to give me suggestions on what we should be looking at next, or any kind of constructive criticism. I'm always open to that. But anyways, don't forget to also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Click on that bell notification so you don't miss out on future videos. And until next time, peace out.